Welcome to WGLH-TV. I'm Tim Lakin.
I'm Kristen Hampton.
And I'm Dave Fox with sports.
It looks as if we have a big job on our hands today, Kristen.
What's that, Tim?
Well, Kristen, we have many unforgettable events, which are, for one reason or another, very special moments to the people involved.
That is a big responsibility. I'm a very sentimental person, and I know that my memories are very important. I remember my first date, my first day at school, my first kiss, my first prom, and my...
Now, wait a minute, Kristen. It sounds like we could go on here all night. What we're about today is making indelible the events that are special in one way or another to us all. Let's begin by bringing back the memory of the day we picked up our class rings. Here's Dave with the story.
Usually people get their class rings in their sophomore year, as these students are doing now. And with a class ring, people can often tell and remember a lot about another person. So cherish your ring, and with those, your memories. This has been David Fox for WGLH-TV.
That does bring back a lot of memories to me.
Yes, it does. I enjoyed my class ring also for 2 days.
2 days? What happened, Tim?
Well, I gave it to a girl, and she moved out of town that week. It was never seen again.
You must be very upset about that.
Yes, but what happened to me was minuscule. My mother had a coronary because the ring cost $95 and she paid for it.
Since we're talking about momentous occasions, we have a student here at Gahanna who has won a prestigious art award. Here's Eric with the story.
Hi, this is Eric Bruner for WGLH-TV. Art is one of the oldest forms of entertainment, but to senior Chris Smith, art is a way of life. Chris recently entered the Scholastic Art Awards contest sponsored by the Columbus College of Art and Design. He entered his works in the categories of drawing, mass media, and pottery. He won 2 gold keys, the highest award an artist can receive in the contest, in drawing and mass media. Chris and other gold key winners will have their works on display at Fort Hays Career Center for an exhibition from January 26th to February 13th. Chris is also eligible to go on to the Nationals in New York City. With me is Chris Smith. Just let me ask you a couple questions there, Chris. How do you feel about winning these awards?
I thought it was really good. It could give me a chance to get some scholarship money and get some exposure in the art world.
And do you plan on furthering your art career?
Yes, I'm planning to go to college. Right now I'm looking at CCAD, and I also looked at Cleveland Institute of Art and Pittsburgh Art Institute.
Are there any that are in the lead right now, or you really have no idea where you're going?
Columbus College of Art and Design.
Because it's close by?
Yeah, pretty convenient.
Well, now, what type of employment do you think art will take you?
Probably commercial art or advertising design.
Okay.
Something in that field.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is Eric Bruner reporting. Now back to the studio.
Just think, he may go to Nationals.
There will be some real competition on that level.
There's some other competition growing up in Gahanna. Now this.
Creative Education Club of America, or DECA, at Gahanna Lincoln High is once again sponsoring its annual bowlathon for muscular dystrophy. Each year, DECA signs up fellow students to participate in the bowlathon. In turn, the students must sign up at least $10 worth of sponsors, with all sponsors paying as little as a penny per pin. Sponsors pay for every pin the bowler happens to knock down. For participating in this event, bowlers receive a patch and a pin for helping this very worthy cause. In addition to this, bowlers and sponsors also receive something much, much more than material objects. They receive the satisfaction, pride, and pleasure for helping their fellow human beings. This has been David Fox for WGLH-TV. Now back to the studio.
That bowlathon sounds pretty exciting. Maybe I want to take part in the action.
That's true, but for a real memorable evening of excitement, I took in the Varsity Variety tryouts. Here's our own Fox with the story.
Do you see yourself back at school after you graduate, Tim?
Oh, I don't know, Kristen. How about you?
Well, I'm not sure either, but some community officials do go back to school, only they're teaching. Let's go to Lisa.
Hi, we're here with Mr. Todd Roop, the chairman of a somewhat new program in Gahanna called I've Been Back to School. Welcome to WGLH.
Thank you, Lisa.
Can you tell us about this new program and how one can get involved?
Why, yes, the I've Been Back to School program is sponsored by the Gahanna Jefferson Education Association in cooperation with the administration of Gahanna Jefferson Public Schools. It is a program that involves inviting community members into the schools to spend an entire day with a teacher. The idea being that they get to see the various aspects of teaching, all the trials and tribulations of teaching that a teacher endures throughout an entire school day. They serve lunch duties, they observe recesses at the elementary level, they observe high school students as in all their various activities during a normal high school day. Right now we have a committee made up of 3 school administrators, a principal from each level, middle school, high school, and elementary, as well as a teacher from each school building within the district. They are in the process of inviting community members into the school to be a part of this program.
When did this program get started?
We started this just last year. Last year's program was very successful. The community members who were involved asked us to do it again. They said, more people need to see what's happening in Gahanna Jefferson schools, and we fully agree.
Okay, if one wanted to get involved in the program, how could he go about doing this?
If there is a community member who would like to be involved, they need only call me or call any of the school buildings and speak to the administrator or ask to speak to their back-to-school committee member at that building. And we're more than happy to invite anyone who would like to be involved.
Who was involved last year?
We had community members from the mayor of Gahanna, Jim McGregor. We had members of city council. We had a number of real estate people, ministers, business executives, a number of people who normally don't get into the schools, and that's the idea of the program, to invite those who aren't necessarily parents, who aren't already involved with parent activities, but people who maybe haven't been back to school for a number of years.
Well, we hope this year's program is a huge success, and we hope you have success for many years to come. Now, back to Kristen and Tim.
Speaking of going back to school, Dan Sherman did research on making it just a little bit easier for us to graduate. As a regular part of our show, we would like to keep you updated on the scholarship winners here at Gahanna. We will tell you about 4 or 5 a week. This week, we have 4 scholarships to tell you about. First, we have Laura Evans. She received an academic scholarship at Otterbein. Tracy Smith, another senior at Gahanna, also received a scholarship here at Gahanna. Lisa Bell also received a scholarship. Hers was to Kent State University. And finally, John Gordon was accepted into the Freshman Honors Program at Ohio State. These are just a few of the scholarship winners here at Gahanna, and there are many more to come.
Well, these days you can receive a scholarship for many types of activities.
Well, not for every subject. For instance, you can't get one in health.
No, we don't have any health scholarships, but we do have a story about Health Awareness Week. Here's Nancy to tell us more.
Hi, this is Nancy Carroll reporting from the Gahanna Lincoln High School Clinic. For some high school students, the clinic is just a place to go to get out of taking a test or not going to a class they don't particularly want to go to. But the clinic and our school nurses play a much larger and more important part than this. The Ohio Association of School Nurses is promoting School Health Awareness Week, January 25th through 31st. Included in this week is School Nurses Day on January 28th. Our district's school nursing staff includes Donna Beck, Arlene Ludwig, and Pam Snively. Ludwig, who has been a nurse for 30 years, is on duty at the high school Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday of every week. Each nurse is a professional school nurse with a bachelor's degree, state certification as a registered nurse, and Ohio Department of Education certification as a school nurse. They are authorized by Ohio law to conduct screening programs to evaluate the status of children's health and to provide early detection of health problems. They screen for deviations in vision, hearing, scoliosis, blood pressure, growth and development, and dental hygiene. They also can detect symptoms of diabetes, torticollis, scabies, chemical abuse, child abuse, and communicable diseases. Our school nurses also conduct programs focusing on immunization records and instruction in personal care, safety, nutrition, sexually transmitted diseases, and other general areas of health. Good health maintenance provides children with long-term benefits, increasing the probability of their becoming and staying healthy, productive members of society. Their contributions of our fine school nurse staff are greatly appreciated. Right now, I'm with high school nurse Arlene Ludwig. Mrs. Ludwig, why did you decide to become a school nurse?
I'm very interested in children, and when I decided that I wanted to go back on a regular basis working, this was a very good opportunity.
So you saw the opportunity, just took it, right?
Yes, I had been looking around some before that, and this one came up. So,
did you look at any other schools besides Gahanna?
I looked at St. Matthew's and did work there for 1 year in Gahanna, but I was primarily interested in the Gahanna area because we live here, and I was interested in working here.
Okay, what have you done so far? What are you trying to do to promote School Health Awareness Week?
I try to promote health awareness most every day when the kids, when you have high school students, it's not like the grade schools where the nurses go into the classroom and teach in a formal situation. I try to teach health awareness with the students when they come in for various reasons, make them a little bit more familiar with what's good for their body and what's not good for it, and try to work that way rather than going into a formal situation.
So just try to keep it with general good health?
Try to promote that, yes.
Okay, thank you for your time, Mrs. Ludwig. This has been Nancy Carroll reporting for WGLH-TV. Now back to the anchors.
On the subject of health, Rich has prepared a story for us on the Youth to Youth program.
Hi, this is Rich Richkowski in Mr. Woodman's office, and here you see several of the Youth to Youth puppet players. Youth to Youth is an organization that was originated in Columbus in 1982 and has grown to be recognized nationally and has been endorsed by Nancy Reagan. Youth to Youth organizers stress that Youth to Youth is a drug prevention program, not a drug rehabilitation program. It tries to accomplish its goals through positive peer pressure and building up the self-esteem of teenagers, as well as offering alternatives for having fun without drugs and alcohol. Here with me is Student Council President Brian Uris and Mary Lucas, two members of Youth to Youth. Brian, why have you gotten involved in Youth to Youth?
Well, a lot of my friends and myself don't drink and we don't take drugs. And so just in order to have a good time, we think that you don't need to have drugs or alcohol.
Okay. Do you feel Youth to Youth has been accepted this year, the first year for Youth to Youth at Gahanna?
Well, since this is the first year, a lot of people don't know about it. But next year, and we're trying to build a foundation for next year that we can get more people involved into the group.
Okay, thank you. Mary, what effect has being involved in Youth to Youth had on you?
Well, it shows me that there are a lot of people out there who agree with my lifestyle, and they coincide with me that I don't need to have drugs and alcohol to have a good time, and I'm not alone. It shows me I'm not alone, and it kind of comforts me.
Okay. Now, you've gone out to several elementary schools and to some middle schools performing this puppet show and other skits. How do you feel about performing for the younger kids?
It's great. I love it. To see the effect that we have on the kids and to see their little shining faces and things like that, it's just a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you very much.
One, two, three. Hugs, not drugs!
Well, it sounds like drug-free is definitely healthy to me.
One more aspect of health is exercise, and the drill team practice is a real exercise in exercise. Tell us about it, Dave.
Be sharp! Smile!
Dedicated, responsible, talented, energetic. When you hear these words about a group of people, what do most people think of? Cheerleaders? Softball players? Or maybe the drill team? Yes, most definitely the drill team. Although they and other students feel that they aren't recognized as fully as they deserve, the drill team still practices 2 hours a day and 3 days a week with a performance at the end of the week. And though they have their critics, most people think that, who I've talked to, think the drill team is okay. This has been David Fox.
I guess if we want to pursue this health theme, we should turn the program over to Dave. So Dave, tell us, what have you got?
Well, Kristen, the freshman girls basketball team has a very healthy record of 8-1. With wins against Reynoldsburg, who the Lions beat 37-21, and Pickerington, who the girls absolutely devastated 30-8. The reserve and varsity girls teams aren't doing that bad either, with both teams having season records of 11-4. With the varsity killing Westland 75-55 and the reserve beating Westland 38-28, one might wonder how both teams do it. Well, I had a chance to take a look.
Once again, the girls basketball team is doing very well in the OCC with a very respectable record. One thing that helps them do this, aside from the girls' natural talent and excellent coaching, is a very rigorous practice. Usually practice is Monday through Thursday at 2 hours of practice. During practice, the girls work on fundamental skills such as dribbling, passing, and shooting. Coach Beverly, who is in his third year of coaching the girls, tries to make practice harder than the games. With such drills as blood and guts, where 3 players kill each other to make 3 baskets, the girls often look forward to a game. As Kathy Schneider and Mindy Wolf put it, the game is a lot easier than the practice. During practice, the girls also work on mistakes made in previous games and drill on new plays. While running up and down the half court, the girls also try to put as much fun and effort into the practice as possible to get the most out of it. With such dedication, no wonder the girls are doing so well.
The boys' reserve basketball team lost to Westland in a very close 47-46 game, and the boys now possess a record of 6-8. The freshman boys defeated Whitehall 37-29. And from the pros to the players, the IBA right now is boasting 5 undefeated teams: the Faculty and Hooters in League A, the Guns in League B, the Dogs in League C, and the Icers in League D. And let's see some action.
The guys you see right now and every Monday night are called the Hooters in the black and the Faculty in the multicolors. These guys, along with the Dogs and the Icers and other teams you may well know, come out and play basketball. Well, something between basketball and hockey. It's hard to say. While I'll agree that IBA, intramural basketball, is just a bunch of people getting together to play basketball in a friendly competition, sometimes it can take on a more personal note, as 2 people go head-to-head, as Bill Kakis put it, competing on a much more personal level, though this is rarely seen during a game. Again, most people regard IBA as a fun release or outlet to express hidden talents or bottled energy, whatever the case may be. And since this is fun basketball, not many fouls are called on players because the players are in friendly competition. At the end of the season, the best 2 teams, one of which may be right here, have a chance to go head-to-head in a championship, which each team can be called to play and gain the right of the best in IBA. We wish both teams much luck.
And in wrestling country, the varsity boys killed Westland 50-11 and mutilated Groveport 52-15. The reserve team slaughtered Westland 50-12. And the swimming Lions, the boys ranked 2nd in the East Side relays, and the girls ranked 1st in a 2-way tie. And with spring in the air, the softball team is starting up. I had a chance to take a look at prospective members this week.
This is David Fox for WGLH-TV. And with spring weeks away, some people's thoughts are turning from the ball in the basket to the ball in the bat. And that's no different at LHS, as you see right here. With the first organizational meeting of the year for girls softball over, second-year Coach Hughes had a chance to see the girls who wanted to play softball and give them some needed information. With at least one more meeting in February, the girls will start conditioning and practicing, getting ready for cuts in early March or late February. We wish them well. This has been David Fox for WGLH-TV. Now back to the studio.
And that's it for sports this week, Kristen.
Thank you, Dave. Our theme or themes today have been kind of twofold. We started with the moments to remember, and now we've ended up on health. I guess we can justify this somehow, can't we, Dave?
Oh, sure. I don't have any problems remembering my sick days. How about you, Tim?
No, you're right, Dave. Sick is memorable, but I guess our message has to be to make all of your days moments to remember. And so that your moments to remember will be memorable ones, keep healthy.
That's great advice, Tim. Thanks. This has been Tim Lakin, Dave Fox, and Kristen Hampton for WGLH.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Charlie Einhorn, and I've got an art bit for you. Gaia's Dreams, a new women's art gallery named after mythological earth goddess, represents the dreams of 4 secretaries who chose to own their own business after accumulating years of experience running businesses for others. Sandy Kaufman is the managing partner of the team, which includes Sandy C., Brenda Facchetti, and Amy Arrington. Located at 1181 North High Street, the gallery opens on February 27 and features non-mainstream women artists. A grand opening is scheduled for April. For further information, call 294-1636. The Columbus Museum of Art received a $60,000 National Endowment for the Arts grant to help the publication of a comprehensive catalog of its American art collection, to be completed early next summer. More than 800 works in the collection are included.